So I've just been chatting to a anti-Brexit protester. You'll see the video in a moment. He's been here and he's outside Parliament every day that the Commons or Lords sits since September. He thinks the referendum result is fundamentally illegitimate, which I'm not quite sure I agree with, but I'll just play his words. So without any extra comment, I'm just going to play what he said, and you guys can make up your mind. And as an aside, I was chatting to him afterwards, and he said he gets a lot of, sometimes, I guess you're not surprised, he said someone came up and burnt one of his flags, a woman a few days ago. Apparently he's had Tommy Robinson trying to nick one of his flags. He said he had death threats. I mean, obviously I know people on both sides of the referendum have had a really tough time. But yeah, I think it's an interesting interview, and please do subscribe for more content. Yes, sorry, so you're basically responsible for this almost near permanent Stop Brexit protest outside Parliament. Can you say why you do it?
Yeah, well, I'm here every day the Lords and the House of Commons are sitting, and for me, the referendum is just, I mean, those that voted for it to leave, this is going to end up as a social injustice. The most deprived areas all voted to leave, and they were all given different reasons, and they were all given hope. And at the end of the day, there was none. We are better off remaining in the European Union.
So how many months have you been here for?
Well, I first came here in June, because I did a week on the streets protest, so I was basically homeless, not spending a penny for a week. But I've been here permanently since September the 5th.
Okay. Do you get much support from parliamentarians, MPs, Lords?
Absolutely we do, yeah. We talk to them all the time, and MEPs. They come through, and they're very heartened to see this.
So is that Lib Dem? I mean, Lib Dem obviously, but does it extend to Tories and Labour as well?
Lib Dem, Labour and Conservative have all got their supporters of this.
Who all want to stop Brexit?
Pardon?
Who will want to stop Brexit?
Who wants to stop?
Oh no, sorry, who will want to stop Brexit, as in Conservative and Labour MPs who want to stop Brexit come to speak to you?
I'll be honest, the Liberal Democrats are the keenest to stop Brexit, but I see now this cabinet is divided. It is as divided as this nation. Friend against friend, neighbour against neighbour, family member against family member. And that is not how you run a nation.
So are you retired, or is this like, or did you sort of stop a job to do this? Or?
No, I am self-employed. I've sold a bit of stock. I've also getting a little help with crowdfunding, and I live very modestly. And this is not an expensive protest to do.
And how do you think Brexit can be stopped? How does that work in practice?
Right, in practice, Brexit can be stopped by the will of the people. They serve us. We do not serve them.
So basically, you like a second referendum, essentially. Do you think Labour? You want Parliament to just veto it straight away, or to use parliamentary sovereignty to stop it?
The referendum was like a black and white yes or no on a rainbow of different scenarios.
Yeah.
I want people to get a vote on what is actually tangible, what they are going to get, and how we will all be better off. And as it stands at the moment, only remaining within the European Union can do that for us.
So essentially a referendum on the exit deal, with remaining in the EU being one of the options, as in we have to choose between remaining in the EU and whatever deal the government gets.
I think remaining in the European Union is our only best option.
Okay. If there was another referendum, i.e. either on the exit terms or just generally, and leave one again, would you then accept that result, or would you then carry on campaigning until...
Well, the first referendum we have some unanswered issues with. We have Arron Banks, we have Cambridge Analytica, and we also have, which has been admitted to me by Damien Collins, who's chair of the Select Committee investigating the referendum, Russian intervention. Now he said to me, yeah, it was minor, but so was the victory. It was had 620,000 people that voted leave, voted remain, it would have been a dead heat.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, we really are better off remaining in the European Union and kicking this right-wing fascist coup takeover out of office.
So essentially you think the referendum was stolen? You think it wasn't won legitimately?
Well, first off, it was advisory. Had it been mandatory, the split would, by law, had to have been a minimum, I think, 55-45 or even 60-40.
Sure.
Then there were the 4 million people that were not allowed to vote. 3 million European Union citizens that live here, work here, pay taxes. They have British children. They go to British schools. They use British services. Why can't they vote? And the other ones that couldn't vote are 1 million British citizens living in the European Union.
Yeah.
It affects all of these people's lives. They should have had a right to a vote on what affects them so dramatically.
And what do you say to those who say, obviously there are those who argue we shouldn't have a referendum at all, but since we had the referendum, Parliament said we're having the referendum, even if it's advisory, is it not anti-democratic to try and reverse that decision?
No, we're not actually trying to reverse it, because it wasn't fair to start with. People are now much more informed about the European Union than they were 2 years ago. And I've spoken to many people that voted Leave, and they basically said, none of us are getting what we voted for. What the hell is going on? So we now have two unhappy camps, Remain and Leave. And I'm not saying we're at war with each other, but I'm just saying none of us have got what we wanted.
And in percentage terms, what do you think your chances are of stopping Brexit?
100.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much for your time.